Sonic Speed!
Super Mario Odyssey's reveal trailer has left viewers with many emotions: fear, happiness, nostalgia, and loads of excitement. And with how many people are stoked for this game, there's as many details and tidbits to explore within the trailer itself. But let's see what we can find in this trailer that'll leave fans wanting more, and hopefully inject some more excitement into our systems. Stay with me though, as this will be a full-blown analysis. We're gonna go all in on this. So without any further delay, let's get started. Off the bat, we see plenty of street signs everywhere, and because of them, we know the name of the city, New Donk City, which seems to be a poke at Donkey Kong, Mario's first antagonist, and each other sign is supporting that by being named after Donkey Kong's friends in the Donkey Kong Country series: Dixie's Theater, Tiny's Pierogies, Cranky Cafe, and I had a tough time depicting whose bagel shop this is owned to, as the text was hard to read. There's also a sign displaying the logo of some company called Crazy Cap, and if anyone remembers the Switch reveal trailer, this logo was in that as the Mario game was shown off there. Its slogan is for you to go cap crazy, and this game itself might just go cap crazy as we progress, so keep this detail in mind. We also see a picture of a metallic structure covered in moss with a machine that looks to be watering something like a watering pail, and it's titled Cogwald. You'll have to keep this in mind as well. As the camera pans to the right, there are more signs that all advertise New Donk City, and there's also a sign of a skeleton wearing a sombrero referencing the skeletons in that Day of the Dead city in the desert from the Switch trailer and later on in this one. There's another sign which is hard to depict what it's advertising, but we know its background has a pink gradient, and next to these signs along the sides of the building, you can see the return of crates, meaning you'll get to smash them for some extra coins or other goodies. Meanwhile, there's a large Empire State Building-like building in the center. We also see a ship flying off past it, and it's a pretty safe assumption that that's Mario's ship as we see it later on. As the camera pans down, the Donkey Kong references keep on coming as we see signs displaying the street we're on, Dixie Street and Cranky Street, and if you want to grab groceries nearby and go shopping, go shop at Diddy Smart. That doesn't stop there, as if you stop just as the taxi passes the camera, the license plate reads 1981 MD, the same year of Donkey Kong's release, and Mario and Donkey Kong's debut, and every license plate on every taxi has the same license plate. This city really is inspired by Donkey Kong, huh? And if you haven't noticed, the pedestrian signs for crossing the street resemble the question marks found on the question blocks throughout the Mario series. Also, there's this weird light sitting on the sidewalk, but I feel like there's more to it than meets the eye because of its unique design, the Thunderbolt insignia, and it differs from your ordinary street light as the base holds one light and a pole is connected with another light sitting atop of it. There's even another one to the right. I don't know guys, but there must have been some reason to have these kinds of lights around if we already have regular street lights, so something must be going on here. Mario then jumps out of the sewers as he normally does his plumbing duties, working on pipes and traveling through sewers, and maybe that's how Mario discovers the city to begin with. Mario is a plumber, and he's known for traveling and going through pipes. Maybe his adventures start him with finding a pipe leading to the city, and he pops out at the other end from here. It's possible since he lands on the ground after twirling his cap confidently and adventurously. This game is supposed to take place outside of the Mushroom Kingdom, and this city is definitely not the kingdom. I wonder where exactly New Donk City takes place. He looks around as if this location is entirely new to him, so he familiarizes himself with his surroundings, and if you look closely, you can really see the attention to detail put on not just Mario's overalls, shirt, hat, and his shiny shoes, but his hair and mustache, as strands of it can be seen. You can even see the small pebbles and street rubble on the ground as well. It's a nice touch that really brings life and beauty to this game and Mario himself, especially if you account his confidence as he twirls his cap around his finger, looks around, and is ready to run off. Mario then proceeds to walk down the sidewalk surrounded by the nature of the big city. And of course with all these signs, one can't truly feel the big city without the nature of taxis driving about, giant skyscraper scenery, fire hydrants, street lights, people walking and running around in fancy-ish attire, and the fresh smell of polluted air. Odd seeing Mario venture out into the city, isn't it? And if you look to the right, you can see a mini Bowser flag waving in the wind. The same checkpoint flag from Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land, and Super Mario 3D World. But I feel that if Mario gets hurt and dies, just like in previous games, that's where you'll spawn back. Even though you get checkpoints in this game, I feel like thankfully enough you'll still get more room to explore instead of being more mainstream and proceeding to the next point. but if you look off in the background, you could see these purple objects floating with their shape resembling coins, so these might indicate that purple coins will make a return as well from Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Run. And if you veer off to the left, you could see some crates along the side of a building with a water tower next to it and some coins. And if you peek at the building next to that, some more purple coins can be seen off of the rooftop. Mario keeps running, and further down that same street, we could see that sombrero wearing skeleton sign. This indicates that that was where Mario started out at the beginning of the trailer, as below that sign, there's that pink radiant sign and the new Donk City sign, as well as those crates spotted from earlier being the same ones. Also, if you've noticed so far and later on, every person in the city is wearing a hat. Everyone actually is going hat crazy. Mario then proceeds down a street named after Rambi, which is also connected to Cruel Avenue, based off King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country, and Rambi based off Donkey Kong's rhinoceros friend from the same game. It's worth noting Mario is allegedly 3 feet and 3 inches tall, and we could see that based on his height comparisons with the humans. It is weird, but this would be how Mario looks compared to us. But then how is Mario called a human, yet those are humans as well? And if you stop here and look across the street, at the base of a skyscraper, you could see doors open, and they do seem to be around Mario's level. And if you think about it, as Mario walks around the city, there are plenty of doors that do seem to be around Mario's level, in which he could walk up to the stairs, open the door, and go inside and explore the building. Is that possible? I'm pretty sure it is, considering later on in the trailer, in this Crazy Cap shop scene, Mario opens the door and walks in. And the doors around that village do seem to be around Mario's level, but I'm skipping ahead of myself here. We'll get back to this later on. As Mario turns to cross the street, down the alley on the roof, there's this weird light emanating from it. Its light bulb is rounded like those weird lights from before, so it seems likely. I could be reading too much into it, but it keeps bothering me into thinking it's that weird light with some sort of significance. Mario then proceeds to do a triple jump, which was confirmed to return as well, and we could see flags along the buildings as well, referencing New Donk City, with a logo representing the general city itself. These flags were along the buildings previously, but they were hard to make out before, and Mario closes in on Espresso Street, another one of Donkey Kong's friends, as he triple jumps onto the front hood of a taxi cab, in which the hood itself actually breaks, but gives Mario a boost in the process. Mario can then clamp on the street post holding the street light and can perform an acrobatic flip, much like how he could flip off trapezes in Super Mario Sunshine. And you could see the checkpoint flag further down the street, and that general area is where we were just at. Jeez Mario, you're just as excited as us if he's getting to roam around this much again. Also, you'll be able to see later on that there's a golden insignia and text that reads New Donk City that has the same logo as the flags. The base of the Empire State Building-esque tower has this black, white, and golden design with columns along the middle, and the golden insignia is plaqued above the door. Keep this area in mind. We then see Mario wall jump along the sides of a skyscraper, and when he reaches the top, we can see red girders which look an awful lot like the ones from Donkey Kong as well. With all the Donkey Kong references, I wouldn't be surprised if this city is in fact the same city where the Donkey Kong game actually took place, with all the steel girders around the place and all these DK references. But I don't think DK will have any big influence though within the game's story, however. And while we're talking about big influences, there are people nervous about the fact that the city itself might be a hub for Mario, and I don't think that's the case. I'll explain later on. Within those girders, we could see coins, and at the end of the path the girders make, there's another crate, as well as purple coins can be seen on the rooftops of the building next door. And to the left of that building, atop is another coin. But if you look below the purple coins on the roof of this water tower, you could see another one of those suspicious lights. I'm telling you guys, something's up with those lights. The street below the girders has words reading not jump, but bump. You'll see what I mean in just a couple seconds. Mario then hangs off the side of a large building and climbs along it, much like in previous 3D Mario games. And then Mario's seen on top of a large building, which is the same large Empire State Building-esque building we've seen before, and long jumping off it and off into the distance, there's that same ship again as the rooftops connect with more girders. The ship emanates a beam of light into the sky, and it is able to guide Mario to it in case he gets lost or stumbles far away. Much like how stars emanated a shining light indicating their location from the distance in Super Mario Galaxy. As Mario descends, we see purple coins on top of a sign, on top of a building, and along the edge of another building, and we can see another checkpoint flag on the rooftops of the building off to the right. Below are more purple coins, and there are more girders off to the right of that flag, displaying a platforming section. And if you look on the street by those coins and girders, you can read text that says bump. And most people thought that said jump, referencing Mario's original name from Donkey Kong, Jumpman, but upon closer inspection, this text was labeled as bump, not jump, and the general area resembles where Mario was wall jumping 2 seconds ago, with the same girders lined up, the same purple coins, the same location, and that suspicious light as well. Sorry guys, the Donkey Kong references didn't go as far as you think. Along that girder platforming section, we see a blue cover along the path, which might indicate there's objects underneath it, making it easier to walk on. And this is supported by the reflection of the light from the sun, showing the material of the cover, and the fact that it's also on the rooftops of the buildings to the left side of the video. We can also see more girders and some regular coins as well, and it also looks like the streets end by a vast unknown and seem to trail downward. I'm not sure if this means the cars and people can loop, and if there's an invisible wall in some cases, or if you can actually fall, or if this is just a simple buffering error. It's one of these, as if we go back to Mario jumping atop the hood of the taxi from earlier, there are people by the checkpoint flag fading away as Mario moves down the street and closer to that flag, so it's a little tough to say with absolute certainty. And before the scene shifts, below Mario is the New Donk City text and insignia which you spotted before, and the circle below Mario has a design resembling the quote-unquote Earth we're on. We didn't see Mario aboard that ship previously mentioned with the checkpoint flag on it, and the ship itself resembles a hat. There's even a top hat shaped logo on Mario's door encompassing his window, and the roof of the door resembles a brim you normally see along a cap. Remember when I said to keep that crazy cap logo in mind? Keep it, because the cap craziness doesn't stop there. There's also a globe atop of Mario's ship, indicating that that's the world Mario gets to travel around, and its continents don't really resemble the ones that are actually real, so this is a form of some Earth like most games. The game is titled Mario Odyssey, and Odyssey's definition is a big epic journey, so a worldwide trip would suit the title, as well as Mario himself. Before Mario flies off, however, I can't help but wonder, how did he get on the ship to begin with? Because when he leaped off the tall building, the building the ship was laying on was only connected by girders and a tower of girders, and both of them were off in their own little world in the distance. Is there some sort of pipe Mario can use to get to that location? Like maybe in those buildings Mario can walk into that I theorized he actually could explore earlier by going through those doors? I'm not sure to be honest, but we'll know soon. Mario's ship then sails off, and there's a circular structure holding some sort of liquid inside and keeping the sail up, which would be safe to suspect that that's the ship's fuel. This is likely Mario's main mode of transportation, much like the Starship Mario from Super Mario Galaxy 2, except he's hopping across world to world / continent to continent, instead of galaxy to galaxy. And you can see the ship leave behind a trail of yellow sparkles as it flies. Mario then lands in this desert landscape, which is also infested with slanted ice pillars and glaciers coming out of the ground. Odd. As Mario runs down, there are palm trees behind a hill of sand and some kind of structure as well. I'm betting there's an oasis back there, and that's another glacier. Also, Mario's hat bobs up and down when he runs, along with his nose jiggling up and down when he runs. Two more neat little touches this game really didn't need, but it's cute to implement. Mario then runs down and rolls, confirming Mario has a brand new move under his belt. Channeling your inner Sonic, Mario? He did travel the world in the past, so it's possible that that's where he got this encouragement from. We see Mario proceed rolling down beautifully shiny sand with some cacti in the distance and a tumbleweed nearby, with smaller weeds in the distance as well. With stone structures and a giant upside down pyramid in the back, more ice pillars surround Mario as he rolls down into the colorful floral pattern Day of the Dead themed village, with skull-headed Coco-like creatures wearing ponchos and sombreros. Those are the same guys we saw on the street sign from earlier. You know, that skeleton-looking thing wearing the sombrero. There are two to the right, one on the rooftops of the building to the right, one next to the building behind the purple collectible, one next to the flag, one by the building on the left, two more to the left of that, one by the fountain, and one next to the pillar of ice on the left. We also see more collectibles that are purple along an ice pillar, but they're not coins, and they're triangular. What are they? Parts needed for the ship for repairs or extra means of travel? I wonder. As Mario rolls down, he's rolling to another checkpoint flag with more triangular purple collectibles atop an umbrella and the rooftops of the village, and there's a stone structure in the back like from the Switch reveal trailer. And look, You could see that suspicious light again, so they do reach out to multiple landmarks. But what is their secondary purpose besides emitting light? Also, the flagpole's pole isn't golden, but green. That's weird considering the one on Mario's ship and the base of the Empire State Tower in New Donk City are both golden like any other checkpoint flag. Before Mario jumps on the umbrella, notice the Crazy Cap sign next to it, and the shop behind the umbrella is actually the Crazy Cap shop. The same sign and shop from the Nintendo reveal trailer. We also see a pole holding more hats such as a football helmet and a sombrero and such, but could this mean Mario can purchase multiple caps outside his own and they act as power-ups of some sort? Caps are some sort of theme going on here since everyone's wearing one of some kind. Maybe that's what gives those lights a significance. There could be a special hat or power-up based on electricity, and Mario needs the energy and electricity from those lights to do so. A lightning-based power would be sick for Mario to obtain. And to the left we see more sombrero skeleton Coca-like creatures at a concession stand selling goods. Moving on, Mario jumps on top of the umbrella to get a boost in his jump to reach the roof and dives, indicating the return of that move since Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. And just as Mario lands the diving on the building to the right has those same triangular purple collectibles Mario's about to collect on this one. Also, the lights here have the same light bulb shape and swirly metal base, but no garbage can design with the Thunderbolt insignia. He rolls to recover from the landing and collect those triangular purple collectibles, and we can see more of those purple collectibles frozen in the fountain. And there's ice trickling along the wires connected to each building, as well as on the ground by the buildings and even their own corners. Also, the desert isn't that hot, as in a recent screenshot Mario's shivering next to the Crazy Cap shop owner in the day, and glaciers are practically everywhere. What's with this desert and its icy structure? And before the scene changes, there's another skull-headed Coco creature sitting by the fountain to the left, but you can just make him out with the sombrero if you click fast enough. Moving along, Mario's then seen in a forest as we see tall grass, trees, and birds land on Mario's ship. There's a tree with coins atop it, and this is a safe confirmation that Mario will be able to climb trees just like before in previous 3D Mario games. And to the left, we see more yellow coins atop another tree. We also see yellow spinning rusted plant watering machines watering the grass as they spin, and as Mario walks down that path, there's another Crazy Cap shop in the tree with the sign entrance and such. And just before the scene changes, we can just barely see that tree with the regular coins atop it to the left from earlier, with more purple collectibles atop another tree behind it. They're not purple coins, nor are they triangular, but I'll get to those in a minute or two. Mario in the scene changes with what seems to be some sort of secret entrance Mario took to get to this place, with another watering plant machine next to the waterfall behind Mario. We see Mario run down this beautiful stream of water as it splashes, and he raises his arms to run down the hill into a darker part of the forest. The water looks amazing as it splashes along with Mario's tracks. The scene changes to Mario running along a path of beautiful flowers forming mid-air, but around Mario is a metallic landmark covered by moss, which is referenced by that one picture we saw in New Donk City at the beginning of the trailer. We also see a block in the background and some more lined together. You might have noticed there's some green post thing in the distance. I'm not sure what it is, but after inspection, I'll get to that in a minute. The scene changes to Mario jumping and diving into a body of water, and behind him are 3 purple collectibles with the design resembling bolts. These collectibles are what make me think it's needed for repairing or upgrading the ship. Mario then dives into the water with a coin scene up above on top of the metallic structure, and in the lake we can see a pipe. The camera changes to Mario in an upper portion of the same world, and behind Mario we see the return of the P-switch, as well as another one below. The P-switches can act as they always did, with either displaying blue coins for you to collect and change coins into blocks and vice versa. Or they could actually activate a new path for you to walk across. I'm talking about that flowery path Mario walked across before. Maybe that's linked in some special way somehow with the P-switch. There's a giant metallic red tower covered in moss bearing an uncanny resemblance to the picture in New Donk City, and there's that plant watering machine we saw earlier as well scattered about the world. I'm pretty sure that this place plus the forest is in fact Cogwalled, as this place and that sign bear such striking resemblances. And to the left we see regular brick blocks known throughout Mario games. We also see the same blocks from earlier off in the distance, and to the left we see another P-switch, a weird purple circle on the ground, and a rainbow beam of light. Could this be a landing point for the ship? And within that metallic tower, more purple collectibles. Also, if you look to the left, there's a pattern of tiles as if Mario's within some giant dome of some sort, and the artistic design and gray and white colors resemble snowy mountains. I want you guys to remember this detail, okay? Don't forget this. The scene changes to Mario running in a crystallized food-themed world with fork-like creatures, with 2 of them next to Mario, 1 to the left and 1 to the right, and a stone structure of some kind to the right, and Mario is surrounded by giant crystallized apples, tomatoes, and turnips and other foods, and with the giant golden apple in front of Mario, you could see a rabbit on top of it, signaling their return for Mario 64, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, and Super Mario 3D World. In front of Mario, we could see some machine, which thanks to the camera perspective changing, is actually a pair of binoculars, which like in Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, you'll get a scope of your surroundings. And those binoculars were also what that green post in Cogwald was, at least in theory, because it's green and somewhat yellow, much like the one in the food world, but it's a little hard to make out in Cogwald as it's kinda washed out. Mario looks around genuinely intrigued as he passes 3 more fork-like creatures. Also, Mario is curious about his surroundings as he looks around. Just more cute little details I like to point out. Mario is then shifted to jumping across the giant crystallized foods, holding a turnip, with another purple collectible hiding behind the golden apple the rabbit was atop of. Except this one seems to resemble a crystallized food instead. What do all these purple collectibles mean? Maybe they're a means of expanding each individual world instead based on each of their individual designs. The camera changes to a scene with a Hammer Bro attacking Mario, except he's not really a Hammer Bro, as he's wearing a chef hat and tossing frying pans instead of hammers. Mario dodges as 2 Spinies try to attack him, and behind him are 3 question blocks. In the background, we could see 2 more of those fork creatures conversing next to what looks like a pie. And Mario walks past the crystallized structure resembling cheese, and if you look off in the distance in the left, more purple collectibles, and to the right of those 4 creatures, there's another one nearby, all 3 of which are near some columns. Then the scene changes to a volcano erupting with a pot atop it, both of which are crystallized, and the eruption is some type of gooey pink substance. Maybe some hot concoction the 4 creatures whipped up, or is this world's themed lava? We then see Mario in a ship flying across the skies, and Mario's amazed at the view he's witnessing. The view I'm witnessing is charming, seeing Mario look so optimistic and intrigued by his surroundings, along with how gorgeous this game looks. The scene changes to Mario standing atop a streetlight in New Donk City back on Cranky Street, with New Donk's flags, the sombrero wearing a skeleton sign, the crates along the buildings with another one on the back, and Mario's ship with the beam of light in the back. The scene changes to Mario shivering in the Day of the Dead themed city at night, which begs the likely possibility, is there a day and night cycle now in this Mario game? Also, if you see behind Mario, there's a lion to the right of him by a stop of some sort, and we can even see benches for you to wait for the lion if it takes too long to show up. But what is that lion for? You may have already guessed, but we'll get back to him later. But also again, Mario is shivering. This game just keeps bursting with small tidbits and details that really give Mario and the world around him personality and character. And if Mario's shivering during the day, imagine how much more freezing it would be because it could get really cold in the desert when it's night. Ah, poor Mario. Can't find a fire flower to keep him warm. Mario's back in New Donk City, jump roping with regular humans, and to the right we could see that blue covering I mentioned earlier, confirming it is what it is, and you can walk across it, and it is confirmed again by the game's recent screenshots of Mario traveling in New Donk City at night, raining, nearby some girders with covers next to him. We also see in the screenshot Goombas wearing hard hats along more girders and a question block. Going back to the trailer, the top of that suspicious looking light has a line of purple coins floating in the background. You can also see coins to the left atop a building. The scene changes to back at the crystallized food place, within the back the giant pot over the volcano as if it's getting ready to erupt. And the eye catcher of this scene is Mario squatting and looking at the fork-like creature as if he's indulging in a conversation. That optimism and curiosity again. What's charming even more is that we're back in Cogwald, but Mario's dancing next to a boombox and another plant watering machine, except this one's rusty. Wonder what's going on that got that machine worn out. But Mario's having so much fun dancing, I can't stress how adorable he is and how vibrant his personality is getting. It's crazy. The scene changes to Mario jumping over a boiling pot of broth of 4 creatures cooking up, and this is nearby those columns mentioned earlier. In the background you can see those purple collectibles again, and a powdering substance resembling snow or it could be salt along a path. Below that is a pink gooey substance, and it seems to resemble the one the volcano erupted. And behind this blue crystal structure, we could see the sail of Mario's ship behind it, making that the likely arrival point upon first arriving to this landscape. Mario burns his bottom as he falls into the pot, which is the same one from earlier. The scene changes again to Mario swimming in that lake in Cogwald. Mario is seen swimming in that lake, puffing his cheeks, with fish inside that lake as well, and which also gives the safe assumption of Mario having his breath meter back again from Super Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and Galaxy 2, to where coins can refill that meter so he doesn't run out of air, and he can't swim indefinitely, much like in the 2D games Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World. And above are the coins from earlier, and those lines of blocks from earlier, and Mario's nose jiggles as he swims too. I just love these small details. The scene changes again to Mario walking in the darker depths of the forest, and a creature of some kind walks away behind Mario. I'm not sure what this is, but its tail is seen creeping out. It looks like the tail of a real dinosaur, and I don't mean any Yoshis either. We then see Mario walk into the Crazy Cap shop from the Day of the Dead themed city, but we unfortunately can't see what lies inside beyond this yellow light inside. If Mario can walk into the shop, it wouldn't be hard to imagine him walk in the other surrounding buildings here. Supporting my theory, he can walk into the buildings in New Donk City, and also Mario could very well walk into that stone structure in that crystallized food world. We then see Mario jump atop a rising beanstalk in the darker part of the forest, reminiscent to beanstalks rising from 2D Mario games and Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 and such, except this one's larger and more bulky. And the base of the beanstalk is this metal hatch or opening of some sort. Was it blocking its way, or was there a block underneath it? The scene changes to a classy Bowser pimped out in a white tuxedo and top hat, purple shirt, tie, and silver bracelets around his arms and top hat, along with his insignia on a medal on his hat, with Peach standing next to him wearing a wedding tiara, and both are atop an airship. As he glares into the camera, he tosses his hat at presumably Mario, and the camera changes to his hat's perspective flying right back at him, leading one to assume that he tossed it at Mario. But it can fly right back like a boomerang as Mario looks shocked as it flies back at him. We then see Peach scream out Mario's name in distress as if that's anything new. But what is new, and I could be reading too much into this and that's just the tip of her lower eyelid, but is that she actually cries. Yep, look into her right eye and you could see a tear starting to be shed. And this extra touch really does add more life to these characters, even Peach for usually not crying, even in her kidnapping situations. We then see Mario back in New Donk City, except now he's adopted Bowser's hat throwing technique, as he can twirl and toss his hat in front of him on the ground and in the air. Mario also passes Squawks Park Street, another reference to Donkey Kong Country and DK's companions. This city just keeps overflowing with Donkey Kong references, doesn't it? That's because the city itself is not only a reference to Donkey Kong himself, but the city is also a visual pun on the phrase concrete jungle. We're then shifted back to the frozen desert area, except by the stone structures in the back of the village, and off the bat we could see coin rings from Super Mario 3D World as a bullet bill and a bill blaster try to attack Mario. The frozen pillars continue to spread next to Mario and over the wall in front of Mario, and next to him there seems to be another path to enter, but something's caged off on the other side. Above, we could see two floating platforms, one resembling an upside-down pyramid, and we could see more purple collectibles floating midair. Mario then throws his hat this time, using this as a lift to do a super jump to get over the wall, and we could see him cling on and get up as we just barely see another checkpoint flag and more coins. Weirdly enough, this flagpole's pole is green too. Maybe there's more to these flagpoles than meets the eye. Or the poles may have different color schemes depending on the location. Atop the rooftops of New Donk City again, Mario then throws his hat once again, but uses it as an extra platform to jump across the rooftops. And right before Mario uses his hat to jump across the rooftops, to the left of him is another crate on the side of a building. And below we could see that golden New Donk City text and the insignia in a better view, along with the checkpoint flag from earlier. We're straight back to the frozen desert stone structure again, as we see Mario hop atop a stone golden lion, which we saw earlier from when Mario was shivering in the village at night. And I doubt this is the same one from Super Mario Land. The designs are too different, and the one from that game was a boss. However, I wouldn't be surprised if this line was intended to be a reference of some sort. Also, we could see that sign and benches like the ones we saw in the village, and we could see a sign that says taxi on the pole. So Mario can whip out his lion instead and zip past the slow traffic of regular taxis. And this will likely indicate that you'll find the lion at stops like these if you need to find one, or if your lion somehow gets lost or hurt, as the symbol for the stop represents the lion itself. We could see a giant upside down pyramid in the back with even a lion shaped statue sitting along the rim. What's more is we see a treasure chest next to the lion, and off to the left we see a beaming light and a checkpoint flag at the base of the light, along with more coins, the same floating purple collectibles from a few seconds ago, and another chest which was next to the treasure chest we were right next to. There are 2 more lines of coins here, and this area is the same area Mario long jumped in the Switch reveal trailer. Mario and the lion proceed to jump off the structure as more coins can be seen next to the previously spotted coins, and we can see the village, Mario's ship, and the theorized oasis off in the distance. Then we see Mario riding the lion across the desert at night, dodging some zombified skull-headed Coco-like creatures as one poops out of existence. Also, none of them are even wearing hats. Moving along, the giant upside-down pyramid is being lifted off the ground, and we could see a lake off in the distance, and more purple collectibles, with more cacti and tumbleweeds along the desert. On the stone platform on the lake, we could see a pipe. And to the left of that, along the stone structure, we could see more coins and a checkpoint flag. We're back at Cogwald by those lines of blocks, yet the area is infested with piranha plants spewing poison by rising and lowering elevators, and Mario stomps on one and subdues the poison surrounding it as well. We then shift to a different part of Cogwald with Mario approaching a power down switch and new enemies wearing flower pot masks of some sort, and grow upon an incredible height upon approach, and it's off in the background we could see that tiled structure and gray and white snowy mountain design dome I theorized earlier. Don't forget about that because it's still gonna get bought up. We then see Mario atop the floating platforms of the desert level dodging a ring burner like enemy with a side somersault as the shockwave destroys cracked stones on the platforms around Mario. Along them are coins, and more coins are below them as well, with coin rings further below that, and a crate near those coin rings. And beneath Mario to the right, along a caged structure, are more purple collectibles. Off into the distance, you could see the palm trees in an area of their own, supporting my theory that that's an oasis, and you could see the lake below as well. Also, we see that beam of light and the checkpoint flag spotted earlier. I have another theory that the checkpoints and the beam of lights are drop zones that the ship can land on. The beam of light at the beginning of the trailer was the checkpoint flag from the ship, and we have one here as well. My only question is that might butcher it is why wasn't there a checkpoint flag under the beam of light that was in Cogwald? And why don't some checkpoint flags have that beam of light? There were some that were green but didn't have that light above it. There is one in the desert level under a beam of light, but it's hard to tell what color it is being so far away and being overshadowed by a rainbow beam of light. And this doesn't help New Donk City's flagpoles either. And as that ring burner enemy destroys cracked stone blocks beside Mario, you'll be able to nab some coins in the process. The scene changes to New Donk City at nighttime raining, as Mario is surrounded by new enemies and tanks wearing hats firing at Mario and Mario dodging the bullets, and the bullets explode with confetti upon impact. Mario has his clothes wet from the rain making them shine as he kicks the cones around and is also surrounded by advertisements of Bowser and Peach's royal wedding. This is the same area as the base of the Empire State Building like tower, with the black and white and gold design, the columns along the middle of the building, and the golden insignia above the door. The nighttime setting also further supports my day and night cycle theory. The scene changes to Mario standing in front of the billboard, advertising that same wedding, and small posters can be seen to the right, with a pissed off Mario clenching his fists in anger. It's odd seeing him go through with it, as it's the first time he's actually outright doing it from the get-go. But come on, Bowser, haven't you learned anything from Super Paper Mario? Oh wait, that was a spin-off. And also, did you notice how the rain hits the screen? And then we see Bowser hold Peach in his clutches and stomp on Mario's hat with his shoes. This is likely when Bowser's hat hits Mario from earlier as it travels back to Bowser and catches Mario off guard, leaving Mario smacked off the ship by that hat and his own hat knocked off. The scene changes back at Hogwald again with an airship of bunnies flying in. This is in fact Hogwald because do you remember the tiled metallic structure in the background with the white and gray colors and design resembling snowy mountains? Yeah, This is the same place, and Cogwald must take place within a giant dome of some sort, and you'll likely have to face at least one of these bunnies as shown later on. The bunnies themselves, 3 male and 1 female, are all wearing classy attire, much like Bowser, with the males wearing different colored suits and hats, and the female wearing a dress and a hat. These bunnies may be a stand-in for the Koopalings with their designs resembling them, especially the one on the left bearing a heavy resemblance to Morton Koopa Jr., but the others don't really look like the Koopalings, just more like antagonistic bunnies. Then we see a giant bird wearing a chef hat carrying what seems to be meat, or some sort of crystallized meat with its rigid structure. I doubt it's a rock or something since the place is themed after food and cooking and it's wearing a chef hat. We then see Mario facing off against the same bunny in the blue suit, the one I said that looked like Morton. To the right below, we see more purple collectibles, and Mario's stuck to face this bunny enemy as there's a ring surrounding Mario, making him unable to escape. And Mario's stuck to deal with this brute spewing poison, much like any piranha plant or Petey Piranha would. Also, the metallic structure here is covered in a lot more grass, leaves, and flowers, which might tie into my theory of P-switches tying into that flowery path. We then see Mario brave a whirlwind in the crystallized world, which is likely a gust created by the same bird in the chef hat from earlier. They keep adding expressions to my boy, and even a concerned expression facing terrible winds is still a nice touch for me. We then see Mario run along a stone structure in the desert at night, towards a pool of light, and then the scene changes to a pyramid rising out of the ground into the sky. Except when Mario's running in that stone structure, this isn't the desert location. The background is different, showing many ice pillars in the background instead of the vast sky, as if it were a crystallized cave. Is this the location only accessible by that pyramid? Or could this be inside the pyramid itself? Or maybe the pyramid was abducted and Mario was taken into space. Bowser could have something to do with this, or maybe this all ties in with the crazy glaciers popping up in the desert, but then again, that could be Bowser as well. I don't know. We'll see. We then shift into a scene of a giant robotic centipede or caterpillar climbing the tallest building in New Donk City at night, raining, and it proceeds to attack Mario, making him fly off the building into the city below. And you could just barely see the sail of Mario's ship below. And this is why I think the city is not a hub, because not only can we traverse around it at night, enemies pop up trying to kill you, and a boss fight is taking place at the highest point of the city at night, in rain against the robotic caterpillar. Not to mention there's platforming for purple coins and regular coins to be done, along with grabbing checkpoint flags, and the stuff that needs to be done here, it isn't that different from what else we saw in this trailer. So cool your jets, guys. This is likely a world worth exploring as if it were its own level, like in Super Mario 64. The trailer then continues with Mario running, stopping, grabbing his hat, and throwing it at the camera happily and confidently, revealing the game's name. And then the cat flies back at Mario, and Mario proceeds to put his cap back on his head. But his hat jumps on its own, and eyes suddenly pop out of it. It's alive! I'm willing to bet Bowser's done something to that hat. Crazy Cap is advertised throughout the trailer, and hats are a key focus of some kind. Maybe when Bowser stomped on Mario's hat, his hat twirling powers traveled into Mario somehow throughout his body. Or Crazy Cap's original mascot is in fact what Mario's cap is, or is some incarnation of it, and the name of it is in fact Crazy Cap. This is likely the verdict for Mario's hat platforming abilities, and maybe the owner of Crazy Cap himself is indeed the hat. Whether it's Bowser's doing or a company indirectly associated with Bowser, we'll find out for sure, and really quickly. There was another video displaying Mario's moveset, and among those moves we have not seen, Mario's crouch and backflip return, his ground pound and ground pounding super jump from 3D Worlds is back, and he can actually climb the streetlight poles in the city, which definitely confirms Mario's able to climb poles and trees again. And this is where we end, as that was all I could find in the Super Mario Odyssey trailer. Yeah, that was a lot to dig up, but it was really fun and I'm unbelievably stoked for this game to come out, especially after analyzing the trailer heavily. This really spiced up my excitement for the game, and I cannot wait to experience Mario's next epic journey, because I could tell this might be one of, if not his best. Be sure to watch my reaction to the trailer and my video describing how magical and beautiful this game feels beyond the graphics, and the fact that we're getting another true 3D Mario again, and Nintendo's treating their core fans again. Oh my god. Please, if you want to share the love and hype, watch those videos and share them, as well as this one, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to have spread some more excitement among Mario fans as we trickle closer to the game's release. Stay super.